Welcome to this video. Hypothesis JM and Introduction. There are 3 extreme events in a row: 1, green, 2, blue, ABC, and 3, red, all 3 around the supposed meteorite impact event, the green arrow pointing upwards now in the image, also the supposed or hypothesized transition between dark blue period, Balling-Allarod cooling, and light blue period, Younger Dryas warming. The green arrow up points out the transition between the 2 periods. Event 1 green, Event 2A, 2B, 2C all light blue and Event 3 red. Event 1 green and Event 2 blue are roughly the 1000 years before 12,800 BP, the year of the supposed meteorite impact, also the supposed transition between dark blue and light blue periods and the green arrow pointing upwards, and Event 3 red roughly 1000 years later. Since such extreme events otherwise are very rare, in the geological timeline, and since they are relatively together, in a time period, I hypothesize they are connected one to the other. The green line 1 referencing to rising temperature presents the first extreme event, and is similar to the third event presented as the red line 3, represents a 10 degrees Celsius rise of temperature, which is an extreme warming event, roughly 1000 years, the green line 1 very surprisingly 1000 years before the supposed meteorite impact, green arrow at the bottom pointing up. That supposedly causes extinctions, very unusual deposits of metals, ores, waste, and glass-likes, in a very unusual black mat, and very unusual ice age, etc. In fact, whatever event or events that took place 12,800 BP, or around that period, green arrow at the bottom pointing up, did not cause an ice age, as the larger part of consensus claims, but rather and again surprisingly caused the termination of this ice age, end of the 3 light blue lines with a tendency down towards lower temperatures or the race to the lowest temperature which is also the end, or nearing end, of the ice age, the Balling-Allarod cooling period or ice age or the dark blue period coming to an end. Since consensus does not even suggest a reasonable natural cause for any of the 3 extreme events, and of course because of clear evidences, I claim the 3 extreme events are connected and human-made. I will present evidence that all above extreme events are human-made, and in function of turnovers, whose preparation and execution caused effects inside the Americas, mainly in North America, as well as inside Eurasia. The sites, research locations, where these effects or impacts took place and registered together are defined and now known as the well-known and rather enigmatic Younger Dryas boundary. Presented, image with Younger Dryas boundary. I claim that massive amounts of blast furnaces were built and intensively used and that led to deforestation. The cut wood would serve as fuel for the blast furnaces. Presented image of blast furnaces as encountered in sites over 5,000 years ago in the Syntashta cultures, or communities. Syntashta, also, are descendants of the Y-DNA haplogroup R1 which has its root and cradle in North America. It is the waste of glass and metal ores that are wrongly interpreted as evidence for meteorite impacts. I also claim that massive amounts of ferilizers, a kind of green revolution, are intensively applied to feed the large and fast-growing populations in the cradles, Y-DNA haplogroup R1 or the by me so-called boomers. I also claim that these growing populations in the cradles were needed to be exported, or migrate voluntarily, to provide massive numbers of manpower to participate in the planned soon-to-follow turnovers in Eurasia, which we modern humans are the descendants of. First the turnover of North America and next the turnover of Eurasia, the rest of the world. Fertilizers, losses when applied, the mining and eventual production of fertilizers as well as mining in general, and a fertilizer-based green revolution both release large amounts of CO2 and humidity in the lower atmosphere. These large amounts of CO2 in the lower atmosphere lead to rising CO2 and humidity, just as the next items do: evaporation, green revolution, irrigation, exposed soils, water dams and water reservoirs. CO2, humidity and certain dust, like soot, black carbon, in the lower atmosphere cause warming through greenhouse effects when released in the lower atmosphere, contrary to when released in the stratosphere, asterisk. Intermezzo, asterisk. When CO2, humidity, water vapor, and certain dust, like soot, black carbon, are released or injected into the stratosphere, like can be the case of certain extreme volcano eruptions, wildfires and nuclear-like explosions, can cause extreme cooling or the equivalent or proxy of a nuclear winter or kinds of little or smaller ice ages. This could have been the case in the case of the extreme cooling like in the Balling-Allarod period that is represented as the dark blue period with the light blue temperature lines, ABC, with extreme and long-term tendency towards lower temperatures, with each one of the three lines hundreds of years in a row. End of intermezzo. As an example of an explosion reaching the stratosphere, a present the Tsar bomb, Nova Zembla, presented a plume that had a peak with a height of 60 kilometers. The stratosphere extends from 4 to 12 miles, 6 to 20 kilometers, above the Earth's surface to around 31 miles, 50 kilometers. Above the stratosphere is the mesosphere. It extends upward to a height of about 85 kilometers, 53 miles above our planet. Most meteors burn up in the mesosphere. Thanks for watching. Bye.